So we just talked about how we're gonna handle the seating for next year for like an hour, and I think we got some good ideas. But we'll have a podcast episode where we discuss different options because there's going to be a lot of rule changes that I'm going to need the league to vote on coming up in the off season. There are clearly some issues with the way that we are running things currently, and we're going to fix them. So I want everyone to know that their voice will be heard, and we will figure everything out, and it'll be okay.
And feedback is best submitted written. That way we have it forever. Don't just tell me shit. I will forget it. Write it down.
That's a good disclaimer, just saying. Like, yeah, that's fair.
So essentially, what we have here is the toilet bowl, where we determine the draft order based on who loses the toilet bowl. So whoever loses gets the first pick. Following year, we're gonna have a different system installed, and
Potentially.
we're currently juggling different ideas. So if anyone in the league has an idea about how to improve it, I'm all ears, because there's a lot of different ways that we could do it. I suggested the max points 4 thing. Trevor has an idea with how we could fix it with the existing rules in the toilet bowl, which is creative. But if anyone has any unique ideas about how we can determine seeding, outside of just the season ends and then we know the draft order, or the regular season ends and then we know the draft order, and then everyone who didn't make playoffs can just shut their phones off, I'm all ears. Because ideally, I want everyone to care throughout the entire season. It's a dynasty league. I want people to be engaged, not only in weeks 1 through 14, but weeks 15 through 17. I don't care what you do week 18, because week 18, even in real life football, is kind of trash, except for the exciting figuring out who's in the wild card, who's not. But they're usually like weird situations where people are resting starters, and it's not an ideal competitive scenario. But anyway, yeah, I want people to care during the season, in the playoffs, and in the off season. And coming up in the off season, it's going to be a new thing for everybody, because none of us have really been invested like this in a dynasty league like this before. So I'm open to suggestions. So
All right,
that's our spiel. But let's not talk about the losers, because we have some winners and some losers, but we have actual playoff teams that actually are competing for something this week.
Scott, we
Of
can't
substance.
see your screen.
Yeah, I know. I got to start it, don't I?
Yeah.
That is important.
I think I stopped it. There we go. Let's get that fixed. All right, you guys
Yeah, so
good?
where do we begin?
Yeah, so I think we should go by the order that is in the bracket, right? So we had the upper.
Sure.
So Jordan and Trevor both had their bye weeks this week, and they both.
Nice chilling week.
Jordan blew a huge load this week, scoring 225 points.
You saw a spooky ghost.
And
You got ectoplasm everywhere.
And then
He also didn't actually play everybody technically, because Keenan Allen missed time and he started Keenan Allen. So yeah,
that would have been a disgusting week. Like, it's safe to say that unless Trevor played Joe, he would have. The top seeds did their job this week. It's fair to say. Because
a weird ass week where teams didn't do what they were supposed to do.
Yeah, it was some weird football this week, for sure. So I guess
Impressive.
we'll start with Danny and John's matchup. Pretty low scoring on the whole, though. Honestly,
Disappointing first round. But hey,
I
good
thought
job,
this was.
I
Danny.
don't know what you're talking about.
Good job, buddy.
I'm sorry, John. You couldn't do it, man.
Oh, dude, you know what really hurts? The point difference that mattered was Dak versus Jalen Hurts. Like, seriously, John wins by like 1 point.
Oh no!
Oh, you're right.
You're right.
Oh, that's fucking rip,
That
yo.
hurts, dude.
So, Honestly, I don't hate this decision
I'm
that
sorry
John
you're
made.
cursed. Like, I'm sorry I cursed your
Hold
ass
up, hold
in
up,
the
hold up.
chat.
Hold up. While that's
Shit.
true, this is a process over results game, you know?
Yep.
So I think playing Dak Prescott, even after the drubbing they had last week, makes sense. Like, Jalen Hurts was sick. There was all the talk about how he wasn't traveling
he
with
wasn't
the
gonna start.
team. He wasn't. I don't think he was practicing.
He didn't start until the last minute.
Yeah, he flew in on a different plane, and he was playing Monday night. So if John didn't have a quarterback to play, who even is the backup for Jalen Hurts? Like, I actually don't remember.
He could have played Drew Lock, and that's kind of it. Other than
Marcus Mariota.
Mariota.
No way. No way do you want to trust that.
Well,
you have Dak.
I mean, literally,
he did have it. He did
literally
have Mariota
every
on his
single
roster.
ESPN caster said that they should have played Mariota over him.
Stupid.
Over Jalen?
Yeah.
I don't think that is.
I mean, I would.
I
Okay. I disagree, but that's
Well,
just me.
I think when you know,
he's literally
at
never
game time.
proven. Jalen Hurts has always failed when the pressure is on. Every single time. I have seen him be under pressure and he throws picks. And guess what he did? He threw picks. That's what he does when he's under pressure.
He's for real life football. He was pretty bad.
He was terrible.
Night.
The only
for fantasy he was decent.
but those numbers don't prove what real football happened.
I don't care about real football in this sense. This is about fantasy. Like, this fantasy number is better than the other fantasy number.
There is some crossover though. Like, good play on the field usually translates to good fantasy day.
I mean, that's
Jalen Hurts is very propped up by the tush push thing. Like, very, very much propped up by the tush push thing.
6 first downs.
Which is
interesting.
The two rushing touchdowns.
It's like a third of his points.
The only points.
Push. Like, seriously, that's actually like a stat.
I mean, it's yeah. Those
so
should be Kelsey points.
This is
Chase and Kelsey points.
I mean, we all know who he credits those to. Like, he appreciates Jason. As soon as Jason Kelsey retires, this goes away. This goes away.
Yeah, exactly.
Assuming that Jalen Hurts can continue to be a mobile quarterback, which we don't know if that's going to happen. Like, because we also don't know when Jason Kelsey is going to retire. Because like
this season.
If they win the Super Bowl, he retires this season.
I'm also curious because
into the sunset.
It's looking like the tush push is going to be banned by the NFL because Goodell is kind of a bitch. So
that's so dumb.
It's weak as fuck. Yeah. I agree.
I don't even like the suggestion.
It's so clear that it's something special that the Eagles can do. And it's not like it doesn't unanimously just work. It's not like it's an anti-competitive thing. It's something a team has gotten weirdly good at because they have a great player.
Yeah, because they have the
they should be able to take advantage of. Like, they should be able to take advantage of that. It's dumb to ban it. I mean,
I agree.
Yeah, let's take away all the glory from linemen. Yeah,
we never talked about this.
All the Lions, like the Lions, have tried to run that play like 7 or 8.
Oh, they fuck it up. The Commanders try to do it. They fuck it up.
Time.
I watched Arizona
go.
You have to have a commanding center. All this does is take away the spotlight from a great lineman. That's all it does.
Yep. Absolutely.
Which sucks because linemen
Harold Kelsey.
Linemen are kind of like the redheaded stepchild of the NFL because like there's no love for them.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
I want to score blocks in fantasy so bad.
Except for the actual fans of the team, and even then, most fans don't know who the hell their linemen are. They know their quarterback and maybe a wide receiver, but that's usually it. They don't even. Most regular fans don't even know who their running backs are.
The front 5.
Unless you have a superstar like Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
If you can name the front 5 of your team, you're kind of in the football degenerate zone.
I mean, part of that too is that position also is pretty rotational, so it's hard to keep track of who's in and who's out play by play, and there's no splash there.
Depending on the teams and the schemes,
especially on the offensive line side, because they don't. Offensive linemen don't make plays. Like they do have like sick blocks. Like look at the 49ers.
Lineman, you haven't done your job. That is kind
exactly.
of
If your offense looks elite like the Niners do, a lot of that has to do with how well your line plays and how talented they are.
Absolutely.
Well, that was a great diversion into why Jalen Hurts is a question mark in the future. But
yeah,
Derrick Henry,
but that's crushing.
Yeah, like
Oof.
it's
I hate to let you know this, Danny, but there was no snow on the ground in Vermont according to fantasy footballers.
Yeah.
So that is a big reason why Derrick Henry.
I can't believe that
failed.
still works.
That stat is so fucking stupid.
That stupid stat.
I looked. I was like, I didn't believe it. I looked it up, and it was like, it did not snow in Vermont last Sunday. Danny, you gotta get on that, man. You gotta get the weather app. You gotta add it to your phone.
You need a webcam in Vermont. Like, find a traffic cam or something that you can just like. It's got a nice.
There's got to be like a public like highway webcam you can look at. And be like, yep, that looks snowing. That looks snowy. I'm gonna play Derrick Henry.
I-86 or whatever in Vermont.
On the other side, though, I actually have liked what I've seen from Tyjae Spears. Like, even though he wasn't really productive in this game, like, Houston's line is just remarkably good at stopping the run. But like last week, we really saw some flashes, I thought, from Tyjae Spears. I thought he looked good. I think he's going to be a good fill-in for when Derrick Henry goes, but he profiles more as like a scat back to me, like a pass-catching, shifty guy.
That's just compared to
It's hard to fill those shoes.
Yeah, those shoes, the size 15, 6'8".
Yeah, literally and figuratively.
Imagine if you had if you combined like DK Metcalf with a lineman. That's basically what Derrick Henry is.
I mean, yeah,
he's insane.
He's massive.
He's huge. Like you see him line up. Like, you're just watching him on the broadcast. He just looks bigger than everyone else on the field, and those aren't small people.
Yeah, no. You know what's wild?
Derrick Henry too is like, you're never gonna get another guy who stays as healthy as him for as long as he did. Like,
he's
at
huge,
the running back position.
And he's like entirely lean muscle. Like, he weighs the same amount as AJ Dillon, and AJ Dillon is like 2 feet shorter.
His size well, part of that also is his genetics, because he clearly just deals with injury better than everybody on the planet. Because he clearly has been hurt in the past and is able to play through it, which is what makes a lot of the best running backs in the league who they are. It's because they can play hurt. And they continue to produce hurt.
Derrick Henry just didn't this time.
Ugh. Jordan Addison, though, went off. I mean,
Jordan Addison and Cooper Kupp both went the fuck off.
Jordan Addison looked great.
Crazy game. That was one of the most fun games of the.
It was close. It was really close.
I mean, it was an overtime game.
I thought Minnesota was going to win this. I thought they were going to win.
They could have a few times, but then they just didn't. They didn't.
I still don't really understand the decision to bench Josh Dobbs. Like, even though they were moving the ball, don't you think it's more important to establish a rhythm on the offense instead of switching out the signal caller again?
I'm just waiting for Jaren Hall's time to shine.
Well, that's the thing, is like,
it's coming. Like,
do they see something in Jaren Hall? Like, have they talked?
Trying to find out if they do. That's what's going on.
Have they talked? Well, I think we'll see him if they get knocked out of playoffs. Like week 18, he's the kind of guy you see start, you know?
Well, I think what's going on with Jaren Hall is that they do think they see something there, because I think he was drafted to be the heir apparent to Kirk. And they wanted him to heal up for a year because he played in the Senior Bowl injured.
Right.
I think. And then they threw him. They put him basically on IR right away and stashed him through camp. And they've just like barely been getting him into practices a little bit more, I think. So they wanted to start him before he got immediately hurt again.
What round was
Um,
Jaron Hall
The
selected?
fifth.
He's a fifth round
round.
quarterback.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's not likely to be a long-term starter, but I
Like
think he's
maybe
likely
maybe
he's
his
there to be
ceiling
a
would be like a
stopgap
backup.
before. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I mean, I think he exists.
Those
in
are
the league
valuable. I
for,
think
like,
if there's
2
one thing
years.
we can take away from this season in the NFL is that the backup quarterback position is actually extremely valuable.
Yeah, it's good to have them.
That's true.
They
It's
are.
good. It's good.
However, like
Everyone
they
has
pop
no.
off
Everyone
every
has
once in a
them,
while.
Steve. Not everyone has a serviceable one. And
Yeah,
we've
look at the
seen the
Jets.
teams with
Yeah.
serviceable ones
That's
do what
key.
they've done.
If the Jets had Joe Flacco, they might be in the playoffs.
Yeah, arguably, yeah. I think that's true.
They did, and then
They
they
tried
didn't.
that once.
I know.
And then
I
yeah.
know.
It was
They just-
great. That's where we saw Garrett Wilson
Shine.
become Garrett Wilson.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Joe Flacco was having a bad time in a cursed franchise. Now he's
Now
having
he's
a
in
great
another
time, it
one.
seems like in a similarly cursed franchise, but he seems to be having a better time of it. I think he likes Stefanski a lot more than he likes Saleh.
Did you see that someone did a face meld of Joe Flacco and Stefanski, and it was like the same face?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly, dude.
They're the same person.
They're
It's
also
what?
like from the same region, about the same age. Like they likely fucking played against each other in high school games or something like that.
Yeah, aren't they pretty similar in age? Like, aren't
Yeah.
they like
They're
really
like
close?
38 and 39.
That's fucking crazy. It's
Um,
like, yeah, that's my coach, and I am the starting quarterback of your
Yeah,
football
exactly.
team.
We played each other in high
The head
school.
coach of the OKC Thunder is younger than LeBron.
That's fucking crazy.
Oh boy. I mean, LeBron is.
I mean, talking about
his
generational
own,
talent,
but-
like
Yeah,
Derrick Henry, like it's similar thing. Like it's a one of one person. You're not gonna see another player like that in your lifetime. You know, not exactly like that. Not exactly like that. I would be very surprised if we saw another Derrick Henry.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I mean,
Dude.
we saw LT.
Look at fucking DK. They're just making them built different these days, man. There's sure to be one to come out of the works.
Is it this? Is it the candy? It's probably the candy.
I don't
This
know
new
what it
nutritive
is.
candies.
I think
a lot of where DK's size comes from is the fact that his dad was in the NFL and he's been working with an NFL trainer since he was fucking 12 years old. And you know, so but he's also genetically fucking gifted and has a family built for the NFL. So it's like one of those things where they took a lineman's kid and he was going to be built like a lineman, but instead they put him with an NFL trainer and turned him into a wide receiver, making him a lineman wide receiver.
Yeah.
I mean, look at how he blocks. He blocks just like his dad.
He's phenomenal. He's a
It's
great
really
player.
nice that he can do that. Just saying.
Yeah,
I think,
it's amazing.
I think that if Derrick Henry goes to another team, like if he doesn't stay with the Titans and then ends up on another team and then plays like he did when he was 26 for that team and then gets another deal somewhere else and does it again and does it again and does it again, that would cement his legacy. But I agree with you. Right now, he's kind of like, there's a lot of running backs like him, but in the sense that he's still relatively young. People talk like he's like what, 29, 28, going on 29, and they're talking like his career's over because he's slowing down. I think he has the potential to be the next Frank Gore and just be 38 and still playing. And it's like, how are you not dead?
Oh, I think you're absolutely right, but I think he's just like.
Yeah, but they
he's
slow
not
down
gonna-
a lot.
He's not
Like-
going to be the. He can't put a team on his back in the same way. He's
Yeah,
going
I
to need
mean,
like good blockers. He's going to.
you guys all remember prime Adrian Peterson?
Farms. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
he never
Exactly.
recovered.
He was a monster, but like I remember when he was on the Seahawks before he retired. He still looked. He was slow.
He could flash.
He was
had
slower.
moments.
But he had moments.
He
Exactly.
could flash. Yeah, he could do things.
But it's a drop in the pan in the scheme of 18 games.
Yeah, exactly. Inconsistency is the problem.
Plus, Frank Gore, like at the end, did nothing. So like
Still doing nothing.
Well, he
Frank
never had
Gore,
he never had a really bad injury that took him out.
Frank
Typically,
Gore and like Matt Breida are those two
typically
guys.
with
Just
these
like, what the fuck are you guys still doing?
hard-nosed running teams, the the running back doesn't make it 5 years because he blows an ACL or he breaks his ankle or he breaks his femur, or something happens to where they
Just gets
can't
hit.
perform. And once you get hurt like that, there's a very, 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 very slim chance you ever play again because the people you're competing against are freaks of nature.
yeah.
And there's no reason you should be able to beat that guy out. They're just, other than just them not trying and
Well,
you having a hard time finding somebody.
That's why I'm so impressed with Ezekiel Elliott and Derrick Henry, though, is because they're getting to that point that you're talking about where their bodies are starting to break down, but they still can play. And they do beat out players that are like that. They're coming up, trying to steal their jobs or whatever. It's just impressive as hell because for every Derrick Henry and for every Ezekiel Elliott, there's a Melvin Gordon or a Lamar Miller. You guys remember that guy? Like, these guys just come and go like crazy. And the ones that stick around and are in the play at this position, at least for 7 years, is so fucking impressive to me. Especially if they stay fantasy relevant. Like, Harold Patterson.
That's the thing.
Scott's never going to get over that
one. Fuck, I love Cordell Patterson so much.
Well,
it's such a fun player.
Let's round out Danny's
players
with Rashawn Jenkins being the only other.
Rashawn Jenkins had a hell of a game. Dude was all over the place against Baltimore.
Jacksonville's offense just shit the bed again.
I want to shout out the Bears. Also for like another running back by committee error here. This time for negative.
Are they trying to lure Belichick? Is that what they're trying to do with this?
The Bears? Ooh, that's an interesting idea, and I don't like
it. Do we know who the teams that are most likely to get Belichick if he leaves New England? Who they are right now?
San Diego.
That's the only one who's fired. Who else has fired their coach? Is it just the Chargers?
Oh man, the Falcons. Whew.
Yeah, I mean,
Falcons haven't fired him though.
The Green Bay.
Shut up, Joe.
Position looks like it could be. Yeah, that hasn't happened yet, Targus.
I'm speaking it into existence.
No.
God damn it.
You don't want that fucking. You don't even want that. He's burned.
No, I don't want that.
His playbook is done. It's over.
Yeah, he would take those weapons and turn them into what Arthur Smith does. Again, it would be part 2.
Belichick goes to Michigan.
Then Harbaugh comes in.
What?
That's my weird dark horse take.
Wait, he goes
to college?
He goes to
college?
No.
No,
he'll
just retire at that point.
Belichick clearly doesn't even watch college football.
Yeah, he hates college players.
Look at his dress, and he's the GM.
He doesn't even watch the combine. He makes them do a special workout before the combine, and then doesn't give a fuck about what their combine stats are.
They roll out Ezekiel Elliott, and they say, block him.
I mean, he just needs to shuffle along at this point, man. I don't know.
I don't think he goes to the Bears. They definitely are going to fire Eberflus, though.
No, I was just kidding. It was a joke. I think he goes to San Diego.
He goes to San Diego for sure.
If he doesn't just retire.
Yeah.
I think he wants to overrun Don Shula's record.
Don Shula? Yeah, I mean,
isn't he already?
Same division. He's probably he's the most spiteful person in football.
No, Steve, that's the funny part. He still needs to win 3 more games or 4 more games.
3 games, that's right. Yeah. He can't win them with the current Patriots.
He can't fucking win.
There's no way.
I love that the league, every other team in the league, has put together a concerted effort to say "fuck you, Bill," for all of the years.
Can you blame them?
No, I can't. I really love it. Actually, I think it's great.
He deserves it. You can have your 6 fucking rings, you old fucker.
Yeah, you codger. You're not gonna be You're never gonna be the winningest coach ever.
He's resting on Brady's laurels anyway. We all know what was going on there. Elite defense.
You can't say that and then not say that he raised Brady. When Brady came into the league, he was fucking garbage.
Yeah,
That's fair. Yeah, I mean, I
He
can't
brought up
argue with
Brady,
that.
and
He was a
curated those
backup.
defenses.
They did terrible in his first game, but Belichick saw something, and he took that something and made Brady into the best fucking quarterback we've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. At the very least, he gets the credit for assembling the staff that did it. You know?
I mean, yeah. Belichick is a defensive mastermind. He pretty much has written the NFL rule book, or just all the concepts. Everyone tries to copy him. Tried to. Nowadays, I don't know. Because
but then again, we
that
weren't even
defense
alive to
is
see the Dan
shambolic.
Marino shit. So it's like, I mean, like everybody
Yeah.
talks about Brady, but that's because he's the most recent.
I mean, Dan Marino was amazing.
Marino was,
That's for
had a
sure.
fucking legend.
Marino never won. That's the other part.
Yeah,
But
that's really unfortunate.
That's like trying to do the MJ fucking LeBron comparison, right? Like, oh, LeBron has
Yeah,
more
right.
rings, but you know what? MJ was fucking better. He was a
MJ
better leader, better player, better
Undefeated.
athlete. Like,
Anyway.
I mean,
I'm not trying to
I
litigate
think the part,
MJ versus LeBron.
Yeah, I'm not trying to litigate that, but I
Yeah,
think the part that gets forgotten in the all-time great is the all-time part. Like, if you can't do it at every all-time is the important thing, not great.
There's a lot of great out there.
Yeah.
Not a lot of
It's
all
not
time.
That's the part that matters.
Yeah. All right. So for John's,
let's do John's eulogy
I mean,
here.
we could talk about Danny's duds, but we shouted out the Bears, and Miles Garrett had a floor game. Oops. Okay.
Danny, you need him. You need to heal this man. You need to restore the golden goose.
Yeah, you need to restore the golden goose.
3 tackles isn't going to be good enough next week.
He's just getting officiated to all hell, or not officiated.
He's hurt.
I think Danny's team is storing its energy to just release it all on Jordan this week.
Yeah, I mean Jordan's out there just blowing loads everywhere, left and right. He doesn't even. He's like, bye week, fuck it. Here's 130 points.
Fire it off.
Play a player that's out.
Yeah. God damn.
All right, but yeah, I mean, on John's side,
I mean, Rishi Rice.
Rice showed up for once. Neat.
What do you mean for once? The last couple weeks, he's looked like the. Did you see the Kadarius Toney in this game again, dude? He again had one of those plays where he just and then the ball ends up getting intercepted. Like, how?
Yeah, it's wild.
Dude is cursed.
Josh is over here just like, what do I do with Toney?
All right,
Like,
Rishi Rice. This is a good.
Send him better gloves and stick him.
Homie is steadily increased his snap count since the bye, or his snap percentage.
Yeah, he's got that post. It's called the post rookie bump or post bye rookie bump.
And
that's what that looks like.
Absolutely, yeah. You do the self scout at the bye, and then you know,
exactly. That's
you
clearly
see like, hey, this
Andy Reid's not an idiot.
Good. Yeah,
not an idiot.
Exactly.
He knows what he's doing, and he knows the situation with this team. They lost Eric Bieniemy, so
yeah, that's a good point.
And they see Kadarius Toney out here losing games on offside penalties and bopping balls in the air, and it's like they're playing volleyball.
Rishi Rice gets a lot more looks, and that's going to be good for him.
The question, though,
great pickup. Hope he can be good long term.
Exactly. The question, though, is what is going to happen in the draft for 2024 for Kansas City? Do they get another wide receiver?
Yeah, I mean,
they need like 2 more wide receivers because MVS is doing nothing out there, and Tony's probably going to get cut.
Tony back. Come on.
No, I think they signed him to a multi-year deal, but really? I don't remember. I don't remember, but when he came over from the Giants, it was like our problems are fixed. We didn't need Tyreek Hill. We've got Kadarius Toney now. And that was back when that was a big deal.
Yeah, that was funny.
I mean, that was always a lie. I don't know who was believing that one, but that was always.
Everyone who watched him play against the Giants, or
all right,
the Cowboys that one game.
Look,
I mean, then there were all the Giants
move off of Toney.
Like, dude, this guy sucks, and so I don't know.
Yeah, true.
Man.
Tony's contract is worth like $2 million.
Oh, so they didn't extend him? They just
No,
signed him to
they
a
did
1 year
not.
prove it?
It was a 2-year deal worth like $4 million.
Yeah, they can cut him without much consequence. I expect them to do
They
that.
cut him
Yeah.
at this.
It'd be a
Unless-
post June 1st cut so they can split it out over multiple seasons anyway. I don't see why they don't do that. That's the smartest thing to do, even though that contract is basically nothing.
Rate cut him. Yeah.
Unless KC needs, like, thinks they need like another running back or a lineman, like first 2 rounds, like I could easily see them taking wide receivers.
Everyone needs as many defensive end. Everyone needs more left tackles. Everyone needs always more of that position.
Yeah, more linemen generally.
I can see him doing that too. Just like I can see anyone doing that, honestly.
Well, this is a pretty deep class at wide receiver. Like,
there's quite a few options, yeah.
There's quite a few
for sure.
ones. And there's like a lot of when I was watching tape for this year, I was looking at a lot. I found myself actually looking at a lot of juniors that weren't heading to the draft that were going to play another year.
They could declare
for some of those areas. Well, they could have, but a lot of them didn't. And then are part of this year's class that, looks pretty deep in terms of wide receiver. So that's neat. But,
they watch this space, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta keep some eyes out. Basically the giant stack failure to show up is what really sealed John's fate. Getting a combined 8 points from those 3 players is really rough.
Benching Terry McLaurin also must have been really painful because
I bet that
he had that donut before the bye and he was unavailable last week, and I'm sure that was sitting pretty in his mind. And then the 3 weeks prior to that, he wasn't very good. Like, look at this.
No, I know, but
he's been brutal. But then he would have saved his season if he'd played him this week, you know?
Yeah,
benching Curtis Samuel, man. Like, that's also another one where it's like, it's just Curtis Samuel. Like, why would you ever think he was gonna save your season? But it's like both of them. Like
those,
good games.
McLaurin more so than Samuel, just because like what are you gonna do? You're gonna bench Stephon Diggs for McLaurin? No. I mean, or maybe you play him over Sutton. But Rashee Rice had a great game.
I mean, I think I think you play Rashee Rice. No. That one makes sense to me.
I mean, Sutton maybe not, but that's like always a gamble play anyway.
I understand the Sutton play though, because Russell Wilson has come off of multiple good games, and Detroit, at least coming into this game, has looked really suspect on defense.
But yeah, I mean, the real holes I see are Hassan Reddick doing nothing.
The Giants super stack definitely.
The super stack just completely collapsing
against the Saints.
Against the Saints.
How do you not do anything against the Saints?
They didn't.
The Saints are terrible.
So
the Giants are so bad.
I mean, the Saints defense is like middling, which if you've got a bad.
We're talking about the Giants defense.
The Giants defense, like, how did you get carved up by Derek fucking Carr? That's the question we're asking here.
Dude, the Superdome goes crazy.
They have good receivers. It's just Derek.
Oh yeah, no, they do.
Derek
it's just
Carr.
Derek Carr. Yeah, exactly.
The receivers are fantastic.
But Olave's was out, right? So it was it a Shaheed game? Is he back?
They got Jimmy Graham, dude.
Yeah, Jimmy
Graham.
Oh,
that's right. They've got Jimmy Graham,
elite
for 2
fantasy
touchdowns.
superstar Jimmy Graham.
Still on the waiver wire?
Of course.
Yeah. Yeah.
I dare someone to pick up Jimmy Graham and play him in the semifinals or the grand championship. I dare you.
Jimmy Graham.
Dude, if you
Dare
do
me
that,
a 5th round pick.
You're smoking rocks if you're doing that. Like, especially because
Targus. Dare me a 5th round pick.
Fuck no. You're in the most inconsequential situation. I could give a fuck, and I'm playing you. Or no, I'm not. You're playing Josh. But anyway, fuck that. No way. You're not getting my 2026 5th that easily. Those are worth like a first.
I tried.
Apparently.
I tried. They're highly coveted for some reason.
Yeah.
But look, soon, the 27/5ths will be around.
Oh yes, and John will be pining after those, or Josh will be pining after those.
Yeah, exactly. Don't you worry. I mean, in a few years, this strategy is going to come to fruition, where he's just got like a fuck ton of picks,
That he's going to just end up dropping
4 years
anyway
in a row. Yeah,
'cause
exactly.
His taxi
He's gonna
squad's
have
going to be full.
a complete plethora of sort of half good riches.
I mean, if you're trying to move up in a certain draft, maybe like you just dump all of them on somebody.
Yeah,
up,
exactly.
Like,
or
I don't
like
even know if people want that, because then you have
if
the same
they're-
problem of who the
they're
fuck you gonna cut. Like,
I
what?
mean, they're great little leveraging chips, though. If you're like, oh, I really want this player, but like they want a little bit more, it's like I throw in a late fifth.
Yeah, I mean, Trevor and I and Matt and I both did trades like that this season, where it's like, shuffle around some late picks because, you know.
Yeah, we can do a little swap season
Fuck 'em,
there.
you know.
And I gave you a guy that got you your only touchdown in the last, 3 weeks.
He's my savior, okay? And then fucking, who was it? KZ?
Steelers guy.
It was KZ.
Fucking killed that dude. Killed him, man.
He scorpioned his ass. That was so scary. I thought he was dead. And then they actually ended up suspending him for the rest of the season.
Is gone.
KZ's gone.
Really?
Which is fucked up. Like, I don't agree with that.
It was super brutal, and they're sending a message, is what happened.
Yeah.
Apparently,
Quit having fun on defense. Quit being aggressive, even though you're supposed to be aggressive. How dare you be defense? Where?
I mean, it was a brutal hit, but like
it was.
Get rid of the drop tackle.
He was playing defense.
Brought me back right back to the 90s and the early 2000s.
Yeah, the refs threw a flag and it was like 15 yards, 80s tackle. First down, the other guys like.
That's good.
Literally, what happened?
A Butkus style tackle. I
Literally,
mean, that was what Leroy Butler and fucking Woodson used to throw too. Like, it's not even that far out of the league, to have guys on that style.
I mean, shit, we saw shit like that all the time with even the Legion of Boom in this generation. Like, heavy hits. By like Cam Chancellor.
It's a shoulder to the head, which is like the whole part of it.
Right.
Yeah.
The normal, like if you had lower.
Yeah, and they have a massive boner for CTE.
Well, the thing with the KZ.
When are they gonna get it through their fucking heads? If you are in the NFL, you know the risks. Look at TJ Watt. He knows. He knows he's gonna get it, but he still plays.
Yeah, I mean, so this is a
You're
gladiator
a fucking
sport.
football player.
See, I think though.
Quit making this pansy ass fucking league.
No, I think you got a point there. I mean, informed consent, as long as it is properly informed.
You know what you're getting into.
The players know this. It's just the public's perception of the NFL soured after that whole documentary got released about CTE and how it proved basically that honestly, certain players have died. It just
gives middle-aged white women who have nothing to do to complain about something. That's all it is. It's fucking stupid.
Well, the
people that aren't even being affected by it are the people complaining, not the people playing the sport and being affected by it.
But Trevor, how else would we get Olympic flag football?
You guys gonna watch the Pro Bowl?
It's still a real thing. That's a fucking real thing. You're gonna have it in the Olympics.
No, I'm not going to watch the Pro Bowl, but I am going to watch the skills competition.
I don't want to watch 7-on-7. It's fucking bad.
So like hockey has the Winter Classic, which is where they play outdoors, which is fucking cool. And that's Kraken are doing that this season. That's coming up next month. And then they have the All-Star game in baseball. Those games are way cooler. The Pro Bowl used to be cool.
Sucks.
It sucks now.
It used to be cool.
It's kindergartner shit.
As long as I can remember, it has always
7-on-7 flag football. Are you kidding me?
I mean,
it's
when
trash.
It was a real game, it was not played with any effort. So,
but we saw cool shit like Alvin Kamara playing defense. That was fucking cool. It was like, whoa.
Yeah, right. That was fun. Yeah, no. When it was like a mix 'em, when they were playing real football, but like playing light and doing mix 'em ups and like. Yeah, like
that's cool.
Wopsies.
That's fun. That I tune in for that. I don't really care about watching fucking Russell Wilson play flag football 7-on-7 against fucking Arthur Smith. Like, no, I'm good.
No, thanks. Yeah,
I'm throwing balls at targets. I'm really okay.
Yeah.
I would much rather just watch all the NFL players literally throw rocks into the ocean. Like,
yeah, that would be
throw
fun.
rocks into the ocean. It'd be just as good.
Everybody
like,
throwing rocks, hitting each other's rocks. Like,
To
hit my fucking rock. Like,
his rock gets intercepted.
It's like you're supposed to throw it into the ocean.
What the fuck? The crab picks it off and it scuttles to the fucking ocean.
He exits. Somebody laterals.
Yeah. Well, I think that's all I really have to say about this matchup, guys.
Mariota's rock comes back to him and he catches it.
God damn it.
All right.
Did you have anything else anyone wanted to say other than benching Kyle Hamilton's definitely a move, Danny?
I mean, there were some choices that were made here on John's part, and some of them were defensible and others are not.
Danny's stacked at DB though. Now that I see the decision he had to make.
Yeah, I think Whitehead is
he's so good.
I know, but he's suffering from Island a little bit right now.
Well, the Jets also he's suffering from Jets offense because they got
he's on the field so
shut
much,
out.
And yeah, I mean he was again living and dying by PDs.
I think he was also betting on Tua. Like he's listened at least
Yeah,
once
that's a good point. That's a really good point.
Trevor being like,
Josh
he's gonna
Allen
throw a pick. I tell you,
threw 3 into
somebody
the Jets.
like he's listened at least once.
Right.
So
All right, let's wrap this up and move on to the next matchup here.
yeah.
We spent an hour on this matchup for no reason.
As much fucking real thing to talk about. All right,
Casey, you shit the
Casey.
bed.
Got round, dude.
Yeah, dude. This
Again,
was rough.
The Bears. Really, we're just gonna start with Casey's duds here because that's like the whole fuck.
Oh, the whole team, you mean?
Yeah.
How about we start? How about we don't talk about those and we talk about the only positives he had: Leonard Williams and Frank Warner.
Debo.
Oh, I guess he had Debo. Yeah, I didn't even see that.
Yeah,
There's so much red that I fucking scrolled right by him.
Easy to miss Debo, but
the Niners uniforms really blend in on this one.
Yeah, Falcons and Bears.
Dude, Bijan Robinson.
There's really nothing that you can do, man. Like other than the fact that you keep picking
on offense.
Here's my biggest frustration with you right now, Casey. You are still playing Justin Fields instead of Will Levis. I don't know why.
Yeah.
There's no reason to do that. Like you should have dropped Desmond Ridder or Justin Fields by now, and just doesn't he have Desmond Ridder?
Yeah, he should have Desmond Ridder.
Look,
Sure.
Leonard Fournette is not going to be on a roster at this point. Not in a fantasy relevant way. Drop him.
Oh, he has Leonard Fournette. Okay, yeah, you can drop him and not even have to drop anybody relevant.
You don't have to worry about anything.
Like especially with the fact that you didn't have Tyreek this week, like you really needed to make some moves to like do something.
Yeah.
And stick your neck out on people that you wouldn't normally stick your neck out on, because if you're going to score 100 points, you might as well do it trying new players.
I don't hate.
There's nothing you can do about Bijan.
Most of these decisions make sense. Minka Fitzpatrick and Donovan Wilson just had nothing games. Minka Fitzpatrick got kicked out like halfway through the first quarter.
He still got a PD though.
He did get a PD. He got the one.
If we didn't have the first down, dude, if we didn't have the first down like points, Bijan would have negative points.
Yeah. I'm loving that rule, by the way.
No, it is working well.
I've been asking for it for 5 years.
It's fantastic. And Sleeper actually lets you do it.
Yeah.
Because it's so important.
Agreed.
Yes.
Yeah. It really makes sense. I think it makes sense with the half PPR as well. Like at that, it really synergizes nicely.
Yeah.
The Justin Fields thing, though, like I don't hate it.
It's the turnovers.
I wouldn't want to play Derek Carr. I definitely wouldn't want to play Desmond Ridder. Like I understand why he's in a situation where Justin Fields is the play, and he looked okay last week, but yeah, he's been really up and down. I wouldn't drop him, but
one thing that I would say about Fields to play this week is the Cleveland matchup. Like I wouldn't have tried to stay away from the Cleveland matchup.
Yeah, their defense is elite. There's no fucking way I'm playing him against them. No way.
Yeah. No, I think that's the only thing is like, if Myles Garrett's on the other side, I don't want any part of anything to do with the quarterback of that game.
But then you have to trust Derek Carr in your
No, you got
playoff
Will
match.
Levis. Will
Yeah,
Levis.
Yeah, this.
Oh, he hasn't elevated him.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Will Levis.
Like, yeah, Will Levis only got 17 points this week, but I would have trusted him over all three of those quarterbacks this week.
I can see
100%.
I can see that.
Yeah. I mean, I would rather roll the dice on Will Levis than Derek Carr.
Will Levis has looked really good. As much as the memes and like him slipping in the draft really hurt him and the perception of him, I think he looks good.
He's not bad.
He's definitely going to be around for at least.
He looks like a rookie to me.
He's starting to pass the eye test a little bit.
Oh, dude, he came out his first game ever. He passed the eye test. He threw 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, he did good.
It was amazing.
Mayo Coffee Man on fire.
He was going crazy.
The only thing that stopped him is he got hurt. He got an ankle sprain, and he got pulled. So he had a lackluster fantasy.
He got scorpioned in this one too. He had a brutal looking neck injury, but he was fine. He just like popped back up and was like, "Meh, I'm good."
All right.
Yeah, no, it was his ankle that got fucked
Yeah,
up.
well, that happened too. That was actually got fucked up. But he had a couple hits in this game that was like, ugh.
Yeah,
is he dead?
Spry.
Yeah, he just hops back up.
Jump right back
just
up.
put some mayonnaise in your coffee, bud. You're good.
And he'll play out his rookie deal too. I mean, I think he's
Definitely.
at this point.
Definitely.
Like, he's super cheap. He's a second-round pick. Like,
yeah, they don't have to pay him.
They're just gonna roll with him. Like, there's no downside for the Titans to not, like, given everything we've seen.
The Titans also haven't had a good quarterback in what feels like forever. Like, they've gone through so many quarterbacks.
I just want to say there's no reason for him to have fallen to the second round. That
I
was
agree.
bullshit.
I agree.
Probably true.
He effectively was our first round pick because of the situation.
The Mayo reporting put him into the second round because they thought it would cause drama in a locker room.
If anything, that just causes more synergy to happen because he's a weirdo, and so now they have something to pick on him for, and then he can bounce back, and yeah,
it's fine.
I think also it was a real evaluation of the difference between his junior and senior year or whatever, because like he was really fucking good that like first year he was like considered an NFL like prospect.
Yeah, prospect. Yeah,
right.
And like the second year was a distinct like.
Well, he lost all the seniors from the year before that were really good receivers.
He lost a lot of his receivers.
He also lost some linemen.
Let's also not discount the psychology around the NFL draft when you start off with the quarterback position at first overall and then another quarterback goes second overall. You got to run there. And then there was a run on other positions, and then the Seahawks picked a wide receiver, and then that kicked off a run on wide receiver. So it's like, when do you when do you switch back to that position there was already a run on? Who wants to spend a premium pick on what is now the third best option?
Yeah, I mean, it's
like, are you picking BPA or are you picking for need at that point? And teams get squeamish around that because they're aware of what that means and how that looks. But sometimes it works out.
The other thing too is like the drop off between the first round contracts and the second round contracts is immense.
It is. Like, it's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money. So if you can get a premium position in the second, like regardless if it's a quarterback or not, like that's massive value.
Look at Brock Purdy. He saved Shanahan's ass. That team was starting to look really shaky, especially after they didn't win the Super Bowl and they choked that hard.
Purdy's like extremely light contract has kept that team out of like
the shadow realm. He single-handedly took them out of the shadow realm.
Yeah, exactly. Like the 49ers have every right to call them their MVP, but it should be for his contract alone. Like that is the reason he's the MVP of the 49ers. I mean,
he's playing really well.
He's playing well enough.
Yeah.
And he's single-handedly keeping them out of salary cap hell.
And and the fact that they don't have to worry about paying Nick Bosa quarterback money, it just does not matter.
Yeah, they can. They can just be like, all right, cool,
that.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Sorry, Brock. You're playing on a fucking 7th rounder contract.
You can't afford rent in the Bay, motherfucker.
That's the breaks. You room with your linemen.
Yeah.
Anything else
for what else do we got to do?
Casey?
I mean, for Casey, no.
Dude, he was also a victim of the Bears.
The Bears.
Because I mean, we all saw how that game
back.
ended. The Hail Mary where Darnell Mooney had the like easiest Hail Mary catch of his life, and somehow it bounced off of him and turned into an interception instead of a game-winning touchdown.
The Bears.
It was cursed. It was cursed, and everyone who played a Bear this week got that pretty much, unless you got one of their defensive guys that actually did something. But the offense is terrible. And then Bijan Robinson.
Defensive guy did anything. Brisker, he had 5 tackles and a PD. If it weren't for the PD, he'd be,
Hey, the PD, man, those are big points. Okay.
I'll shout out Leonard Williams, like as a play, like as a random, like I don't know why he picked him up and I don't know why he played him, but he had a good 2 tackles for
I understand. Leonard Williams is a stud.
Yeah, I wanted to pick him up. What do you mean?
You could.
I know I tossed it around in my head if I was going to pick him up or not, and I just decided not to. I have so many defensive linemen now
Trevor traded for a defensive. He doesn't need another one.
Tremaine Edmonds.
That was a good play. That was a very good play.
That makes sense.
But I think ultimately it didn't matter in the grand scheme of things. Even if he had a big game, he still would have lost. But like Arthur Smith getting cute with the 64-yard Jonnu Smith bomb screen bullshit, and then they get into the red zone and they run Bijan. They do the end around thing and he gets stuffed, and then they just put Cordell Patterson in, and then he just runs it up the gut. Why couldn't you do that with Bijan? I don't understand. He lost this game. Arthur Smith lost this game to the fucking Panthers.
That's the sad part, is the Panthers.
Nah, that's good. If you're a Falcons fan, that's a good thing.
That's true.
End the suffering.
Yes. I hope for them to do the same.
Get in the Ben Johnson sweepstakes, please.
No. So Green Bay plays the Panthers tomorrow, or next week, and
I'm really relying on that matchup.
Yeah, I'm relying on that I'm relying on the Packers to lose so that we can finally fire Joe Barry, because I want to get started with Joe's studs here, because Baker Mayfield posted the first ever perfect QB rating by an opposing QB in Lambeau Field because of Joe Barry's lackluster, soft-ass, fucked, wash defense.
And that reaction of Steve tilting is exactly why I played Baker Mayfield.
Did you watch the game with Steve this weekend?
No.
I saw you guys were talking about that.
Yeah,
I was just thinking, like, man, I was watching that game on Red Zone. I was like, I really hope Joe's hanging out with Steve right now, because the tilt,
dude,
and Ben, because the tilt would be so real. Like,
dude,
the Packers just getting demolished, and then your fantasy team going crazy because you played Baker Mayfield. Joe's just fucking laughing it up. Steve's tilting into next Tuesday.
It's fucking wild. Anyway, Baker Mayfield does not deserve that place in Lambeau's Hall of Fame as the only QB to post a perfect rating there.
Well,
but you know what?
Fuck because he got it.
4 TDs, 381 yards, going 22 for 28. The one fumble was a strip sack where the dude literally pounced on the football. It should have been an interception because it never hit the ground. Like, homie literally came in flying over Baker's arm, grabbed the football as it was coming out. It never left his hand before it got to the defender, so I guess it's a fumble. But I'm pretty sure it should have been an interception. It was like a handoff to a flying defender. Great play. Look up the replay. It's fucking bizarre. Kingsley Enagbari did a fantastic thing. But like, that was a freak occurrence. Otherwise, Baker is completely perfect in this fucking game, and god damn it.
The Tampa Bay is a starved cat backed into a corner because they are the current number 1 team in the NFC South, and they want to get back into that playoff game. Like, they were playing with heart. And they've made moves. They shifted some things around prior to this game. Clearly, because Chris Godwin went crazy. He finally did something.
Oh, no. That was the defense. That was the defensive scheme. Was that the safeties were always going to double Mike Evans. And so Mike Evans was going to get triple teamed, and Godwin was going to be able to just burn the center corner, because I think Keyshawn Nixon is playing hurt for some reason.
Well, that's what I'm saying, is that's clearly the Tampa Bay's offensive coordinator knew that was what was going to happen.
They schemed that fucker up because Joe Barry's defense is garbage and predictable, and has no ability to adapt whatsoever. So he needs to be fired.
I can respect that.
Yeah, I respect that.
Devin White, also on Tampa Bay defense, got benched this game for KJ Britt. Apparently, Devin White has some attitude issues, and there was kind of some talk about that happening last year. Like, why isn't Devin White playing well? He looks like shit, blah, blah, blah. And then now it comes out that he's just a shitty teammate. That tracks with what I've seen on the field, because Devin White looked amazing, and now he's just nothing. And he got benched for KJ Britt. So
yeah, he seems a lot more. He seems just as effective, honestly. Like, Britt is played a really good game against the Packers. He made Aaron Jones only have a 10-point game when this should have been his welcome home party. But Britt's tackling really came in and did some good there.
I can tell Joe's been stressing the AJ or the Green Bay who is going to play at running back question in Green Bay, like, for the last couple weeks now.
Honestly, it's just like
pretty clear.
Could one of these running backs who have been hurt not be hurt anymore, so I don't have to play Calvin Ridley anymore, because the Jags offense is trash.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
you should all start questioning whether or not Trevor Lawrence is actually good.
Yeah, I mean, that is definitely a question that's starting to creep into minds.
Yeah, aside from
your
that,
running backs went the fuck off.
Dude, I want to say James Cook looked unreal in that game. I know they were just giving him the ball, but like, holy shit. Some of those runs, like, did you see the one where he was just like moving a pile 10 yards?
He should have got more. He should have got more than what he got.
Crazy. Yeah.
They subbed him out. They subbed him out in the red zone. They could have given him more touchdowns, but McDermott was just like, nah.
Well,
you don't get to capitalize on your. You don't get to set a high watermark for your career day, kid.
For your work, yeah. That sucks.
He bobbled the ball though for another receiving touchdown, so that's on him. But he did make Dalton Kincaid lay a goose egg, so I'll take it.
Apparently, Dalton Kincaid was wearing rain gloves, but didn't prepare them correctly. Like, they weren't wet, and they work when they're wet. And then after that second drop, they switched him out, but then he never saw another target. So, like, this wasn't a scheme, it was just an equipment problem? Unfortunate, equipment issue, and then just, rookie mistake, honestly, to not
rookie stuff.
Be prepared. But that's not a mistake that you'll see Dalton Kincaid make again, I don't think.
Hopefully not.
No, he's too talented, and hopefully he gets it through his head.
A bear did go off in Montez Sweat. I keep forgetting he's a Bear.
Yeah,
but,
Montez Sweat,
2.5 sacks, forced fumble, excellent. 7 tackles.
You got a fungal.
Great game.
I mean, you can only do so much, though, right?
Yeah,
I mean, you can't.
How's that trade going for you now, Montez?
I mean, he got paid, so good for him.
The Bears. Yeah. Casey started a Patriot on offense. I don't know. You deserve to lose.
Someone has to.
Yeah, honestly, someone has to start a Patriot. This is just not the year. Maybe next year if Belichick's gone and we finally see a modern Patriots offense. But like I've said multiple times throughout the season on this podcast, they can remain dog shit for another 20 years. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with this being the Patriots for another 15, 20 years. Yeah, because of what they've done to me the last 15, 20 years. And by extension, that fucking division.
Are we not going to talk about, like, Jahmyr Gibbs or...
Oh, no, we're getting there.
Oh, we're getting there.
Let's talk about Casey, it now. But we don't need to talk about Casey no more. I love you, dude, but
Quick shout for Amari.
You shit the bed. You shit the bed.
Johnson having average.
We all have weeks like that.
But yeah, Jahmyr Gibbs got fucking fed.
At the expense of David Montgomery. I was surprised because I was like,
very low snap percentage.
Hey, click on his name. It won't even work for me. I'm trying to on Sleeper right now, but it's just like...
Sleeper is having an issue. I see this happen all the time with their platform. It's just cooked.
Oh, good.
It does this all the time, man. But...
I mean, okay, so to wrap this up, Joe Flacco is essentially Jameis Winston and just chucking the ball everywhere. So Amari Cooper's a good play.
I love that Joe Flacco is still playing. This shit's so fucking funny.
Dude, it's pretty great. Deontay Johnson is a terrible play, but yeah.
The Steelers as a whole are just a terrible team.
Yeah, I mean...
Do you think Tomlin's done?
No, I don't.
No.
Like, I don't know.
This is like, I see a lot of commonalities between the discourse between the fan bases of the Seahawks and the Steelers in regards to the head coach position. It's really interesting to watch.
I think a lot of it is just like, I think it's really obvious. They have quarterback problems.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. At the end of the day, like, the Seahawks and the Steelers don't have settled quarterbacks.
They're just a year ahead and an actual drafted quarterback ahead of where the Seahawks are at the moment.
But it's the same problem. I mean,
of course, there's a lot of teams with that problem right now. Let's be honest.
But as long as TJ Watt's there, like, I think Tomlin is fine, because like, he's the leader of that team. You know, like, he's not going to lose the locker room until he loses that guy, and then he's gone.
They just don't have that smash mouth, aggressive, scary offense they used to have with Ben Roethlisberger and all those amazing players like Antonio Brown and Lev Bell and so on. So it's like it's hard to buy into that team in fantasy for that reason, because it's just the defense is going to be gassed because the offense is so poor, and then the offense is poor, so you don't want any of those guys. It's like the Patriots, except sexier. It sucks.
I think the other problem, too, that I don't know how you overcome in a short amount of time is they've got one decent offensive lineman. And other than that, like, everything's a question mark. And since it's your right tackle, that's good, but not great, you know?
Yeah.
Other than that, Aaron Jones, like, needs you to show up next week against the Panthers. Please. Like... I made a bad choice with buying into the.
I mean, you're going to need it because you're playing Trevor.
Yeah,
You're going to need every point you can get to take his old band team down.
No, you don't. You can sit a player and you'll be fine.
No.
Trevor's over here like, yeah, you should play those Jacksonville players you have.
Yeah.
I have all the Jacksonville fucking players, and they all fucking suck.
You are me, like we're the Spider-Man meme, except you're Jacksonville and I'm Atlanta.
That's really good. I made a stupid choice that didn't hurt in the end with Spleen or whatever his name is. Spillane. Like, he got the forced fumble, but he was a part of a game that was absolutely out of hand. I
completely forgot this game happened. That Thursday game was like, I remember Trevor typed in the chat, like, I sat down.
Was fucking bonkers.
I made popcorn because I was like, I'm gonna watch the game and eat some popcorn. I sat down. I was like, the game's over.
Popcorn.
And Trevor posted in the chat. He's like, I was like making popcorn. I looked at my phone. He's like, you guys see this blowout? I'm like, it just started. What do you mean blowout? And I looked at the score and I was like, oh my god, it's 24-0. It's the first quarter.
In that first quarter, he got the third forced fumble, and like that ended the game essentially. And like he got schemed out because they just
they stopped having to do anything.
Shout out to Richard Sherman talking about how the Chargers should be the first team in NFL history to fire their head coach at the halftime. I thought that was so ballsy because like people don't.
I love Richard Sherman.
Richard Sherman is the man. Okay,
I love Richard Sherman as a pundit, especially. Like, he's so fun.
Yeah.
I also have no problem with him being like the Niners homer. We did him dirty. Like I have no problem with that.
I mean, yeah, whatever. It's funny to have Marshawn dogging on him a little bit, but
That's a great dynamic too. Yes.
like that's fun. But yeah, I don't have any hate for him. Like,
No,
I
definitely
love
not. We cut him. Like I can't complain. Like the
Yeah,
Russell Wilson thing,
true.
Russell Wilson thing, we could all feel aggrieved about that as Seahawks fans because of the way that shit ended. But like, if you cut a player, you can't complain.
You can kind of see Sherm as a consequence of that in a lot of ways.
Yeah. Which was dumb because then he went on to have an all-pro season.
Yeah, I mean he was cooked when we cut him. He was cooked. He needed to he needed a chip on his shoulder. That's when he plays well because he's such a hothead.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was one of the he was like one of the first people to come back from an Achilles tear and like do amazing.
Do good.
Yeah, truth. That's really all I got because I mean we already mentioned Montez.
Yeah.
McDuffie did not McDuff.
Good job, Joe.
Good shit, Joe. Congratulations.
You would have beat the fuck out of me if it was this week. So
you would have beat the fuck out of almost everybody in the league.
But next week,
except Jordan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which
everybody but Jordan. But
everyone's eyes are on you, Jordan. What are you gonna do this week? Because this is the week. Put up or shut up, dude.
Yep.
He doesn't. What do you mean? He fucking sets the best lineup every week, man. I couldn't catch him. I was still 15 points behind.
Dude, yeah.
Well, next week, yeah, I think that's a good segue. Let's look at what next week's gonna look like.
We have one more to do.
No, we don't.
Why?
No, we don't.
Yeah, we have Matt and Kelsey.
They're in the shitter bowl.
They're in the toilet bowl. We're not talking about.
Oh yeah.
We're not everyone's been flushed.
All right. Cool.
Here's a consolation. Kelsey, Josh are closer to the first pick for some reason.
We did it.
Yep.
You did it.
You did it.
Yay.
One fun note about next week in the toilet bowl is that Josh and I finally settle which pick is going to be better.
That actually does.
Beginning of the season trade where we swap thirds.
Dumb.
It's really dumb.
Absolute idiots.
And I believe I said we're gonna wind up swapping the 7th and 8th pick or something.
That's actually hilarious.
We're the 11th and 12th or something, and it's like
that's so
all right.
Funny.
The fact that it's lower, that it's both of you being lower.
We're both really bad teams. It turns out.
Yeah.
So confident.
So we got Jordan and Danny playing each other. I don't know why, but Danny's icon doesn't show up here. That's weird.
It's because it doesn't finalize until Wednesday at 1 a.m.
Oh no! Like his the Brandywine Bandits thing. It's the default pink.
Oh.
Like I don't know why. That looked weird to me. I was like, what? What happened to the Brandywine Bandits?
Sleeper's desktop.
But it's Danny versus Jordan, and that's gonna be an insane matchup.
Yeah. Good luck, Danny.
Danny, the ultimate underdog.
Seriously.
With his,
seriously.
I believe in you. Please beat him.
And then in the bottom part, or the I guess lower bracket, I don't even know. The other semifinal match, we got Trevor and Joe.
As long as this game doesn't.
That's gonna be close. It's gonna be good.
It's gonna be the closest game in the playoffs here. Yeah.
I think so. Assuming Joe doesn't fuck up and overthink his roster.
That's literally what I do.
Which is what you will do. I know you'll do that.
It's literally the fucking five head battle right now.
The Galaxy Brain Bowl.
The Galaxy Bowl.
Dude, okay, just
I've literally switched my lineup 10 times today for no reason at all. Just random players.
You're sounding like Josh right now. No. You should bench everybody like Josh does and then set your lineup at the last second.
I would fucking not have anybody starting because I have such a fucked sleeping schedule. I can't do that.
That's true.
Yeah,
some days I wake up at 5 a.m. Some days I wake up at 5 p.m. Who knows?
No. Anyway, good luck, Trevor.
Good luck, buddy. I hope one of us gets the belt.
Yeah.
I mean,
as long as Jordan doesn't get it, God damn it!
It's gonna be one of you, maybe.
Man,
I can see Jordan just the Grinch smile right now.
Yeah.
Dude, his team's an absolute juggernaut. Anyway.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, that's it. We'll see you next week.
And
as always, defense wins championships.
Defense wins championships.
Steve sucks.
And Steve sucks.
And sometimes the New York Giants defense stack loses you a playoff game.
Yeah, sometimes it does do that. But
sometimes that defense does
at
not
least
win
John doesn't suck.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, later.
Have a good one.